Welcome to this video. Today is going to be all about combining some mobility exercises as well as some strength exercises. This shouldn't take too long, and all you're going to need is a mini band and at least one dumbbell or kettlebell. I'm going to use kind of a light to medium weight, so as you guys learn the exercises, you can adjust accordingly. So to warm up, all I'm going to do is put the mini bands just above my knees. If you want a little bit more resistance, you can put them around your ankle, but if you haven't used these before, I always start just above the knees. I'm going to go ahead, bend so my hips are down. I'm at kind of a quarter squat, and the goal here is you want to stay low the whole time. So I'm going to tap my foot out to the side, bring it back to center, tap 45 degrees and back to center. I never want this band to get loose, so when I bring my foot back, the band is still tight. I don't want to loosen up and bring my legs together. So I'm going to go ahead and get 5 on this side and switch sides. Here we go. 4 and 5. All right, I'm going to shake it off, switch sides. 2, 4 and 5. All right, next thing I'm going to do is take a wider stance. I'm going to drop my hips a little bit, and then I'm going to let the band pull my knee inwards, and I'm going to drive it out. I'm just going to do 5 of these. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, switching sides. And you don't want the band to pull you all the way in. We're just letting it kind of pull a little bit and then driving out. Still keeping our legs engaged. All right, now we're just gonna do some standard squats. So I'm getting wherever my feet are comfortable to get my hips down as low as I can while keeping my chest up. And we're gonna do about 10 squats here. 1, 2, 3, 4, remember, drive your knees out, keep your chest up. 7, 8, 9, end of our express workout. So things that you can stretch after this workout would be lower body. You can do some hamstrings, kind of a straight leg pull, hamstring stretch. I like to actively pull my shoulders down and then relax them. So you're not only pulling on your hamstrings and your calves, but we're also loosening up our shoulders a little bit. Another stretch that I like to do is I cross one leg over the other, and then I just hug that knee so I get a little bit of a twist in my back, but I'm also gonna feel a stretch in my back and shoulders. And you can kind of put more pressure on your stretch and then relax and see how much more flexibility you can get during a 30-second to 1-minute stretch each side. So those are my 2 regeneration stretches for today's workout. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye! So how these workouts are gonna go is I'm gonna show you the exercises that I want you guys to go through. It's gonna be 3 exercises per circuit. You're gonna do 3 rounds. So once you see the demo videos that I'm about to show you, then you can hit pause, complete those rounds, and then unpause it to move on to the next set. So that way I can upload these videos. It won't take an entire day for it to load an hour workout, and you guys will be able to play your music, kind of zone out, and then just move on to the next circuit when you're ready. So the first exercise of 3 is gonna be forward lunge to reverse lunge. So if I'm gonna step forward with my right leg, I'm gonna keep the weight in my right arm. So forward lunge here, stepping all the way back into reverse lunge. Right here, try not to slam your knee onto the floor. You wanna push through your whole foot to get back up. If you need to take a second at the top here and step back, that's completely fine. You want to get 5 each side, so that's 10 total steps. 5 forward, 5 backwards. The next exercise you're going to do with the same weight, or if you have a selection of weights, you can choose if you want this to be more or less, is you're now gonna hold the weight towards your chest, come down to a squat position, and you're gonna press out. You don't want the weight to pull your arms down, so choose a weight that you can get your arms fully extended and bring it back. And you're gonna do 8 to 10 reps there, depending on how challenging your weight is. The third exercise you're gonna do in this block is gonna be a good old plank with pull through. So you're gonna get in your push-up position. If the weight is on my right side, I'm gonna reach my left arm underneath, drag it across, reset my hand, and bring the opposite arm under and pull it through. I don't want my hips moving side to side, so if you feel like you're here twisting a lot, then you can move your feet further apart to create a more stable base. So those are the 3 exercises. You've got 6 each side of our pull-throughs. So from the top, you're gonna do 5 of each forward lunge and reverse lunge, equaling 10 total reps. You're then gonna do your squat to horizontal press, arms extended, 10 total reps. And then you're gonna get 6 each side of your plank with pull through. So go ahead and pause here and resume when you have done your 3 full rounds. All right, so welcome to the second block of this workout. We're gonna do some deadlifts. So that means using my one weight. I'm gonna put my feet just a little bit narrower than hip width. I'm gonna stand up tall with my weight, and then I'm gonna actively push my hips back as I bring my chest towards the floor. Once my chest is parallel to the floor, I can either stop there and stand up, or if we're feeling pretty mobile, we can bring it all the way down and snap up. But the goal here is I never want to lose my tension in my spine. I want to keep my shoulders pulled back and pushing my hips far back as I can with a little bit of net bend in the knees. So slow descent, and then pull your hips forward to stand back up. I'm gonna do 8 repetitions of these. So find a weight that you feel is appropriate for about a 7 out of 10 difficulty feeling. If you don't have enough weight to make it feel difficult, then you can always slow down your descent to make yourself work a lot longer during this set. The second exercise we're then gonna do is gonna be a half kneeling push, or press. So if I wanna press with my right arm, I'm gonna put my left foot bent in front of me. I've got my back toe down on the ground. I've got my whole foot in contact with the floor. I'm just gonna hold on to my chest to kind of make sure that I'm still squeezing my stomach as I press the weight over my head, and I wanna finish with my bicep close to my ear. So I don't want my arm getting away from me. I wanna try to keep my spine as neutral as I can, and then slow the descent, press back up. And I'm gonna do 8 each side here. And then just make sure that you switch which knee is in front of you when you switch arms. The third exercise we're then gonna do is a hollow body hold. So what that looks like is you can either do this body weight or no resistance at all. So you're gonna go 20 seconds, and how you start, feet and legs in the air, and then you're gonna move your feet away from your fingers, keeping your stomach engaged and trying to avoid creating a huge arc under your back. There's gonna be a natural curve. We just don't want it to be more than that. So you've got 20 seconds there. So just to go over all the exercises again, you've got 8 deadlifts, you have 8 single arm presses, each arm, and then you have a 20-second hollow body hold. So once you get 3 rounds here, then you can move on to the last circuit. So go ahead and pause here and get this set done. All right, so this last circuit is just gonna be body weight only, so we can move the weights off to the side. And we're gonna do some downward dog to overhead press as our first exercise. I'm gonna do 10 total of these. What they look like is you guys are gonna pull your hips up as high as you can, pushing your chest towards the floor. And then I'm gonna bend my elbows, bringing my head down towards the ground. Each repetition. So if you want a harder or this to be more difficult, the further up you can get your chest, the more vertical, the more difficult it's gonna be. And if you need something a little bit easier, then we're just gonna slightly bring our hips up and go here. You might feel that a little bit more in your chest versus your shoulders. So you can go back and forth, kind of changing up the position and see, challenge yourself a little bit to see where you struggle and try to knock out more reps there. And then the second exercise is then gonna be a shin box to get up. So what that looks like is I've got my knees both at 90 degrees. I'm gonna twist my shoulders and hips forward. And then as I reach forward, I'm gonna lean, bring my back leg up and in front, and then just kind of sit into it. So I should feel a stretch, and then slowly bring that leg back and sit down. So this is all about control while we mobilize our hips. So I'm gonna do a couple more of those. So I'm up, I'm not really sitting up, I'm just hovering, kicking things over, and repeating. No slamming back down. I want to control where I'm going the whole time. I'm going to do 5 each side. So when you guys switch, it's basically the same thing. So you're going to create 90 degrees, 90 degrees, pull your torso, hips and shoulders forward, and you're ready to go. So that's going to be the last block here. And you've got 3 rounds. It's only 2 exercises. You've got your 10 total downward dog with overhead push-up, and you've got your 5 shin box to get up each side. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do now is gonna be some hip circles. So I'm in a quadruped position. What that looks like is my knees and my hands are on the floor, and I'm just gonna bring my knee out and rotate up and forward. So I'm trying to draw a big circle with my knee, not necessarily my ankle. I'm gonna do 3 more and then go the opposite direction. 3, and then switching. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, switching sides, so I may as well flip. Big circle with your knee, and one side might feel a little bit better than the other. That is normal. 4, 5, let's go backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, this one's one of my favorite shoulder exercises. So I'm gonna lay down on my side. My knees are bent to 90 degrees. I'm gonna use my bottom arm to hold my knees down. And all I'm gonna do is reach my arm up and look straight across. So I wanna look where my hand's going. That way I'm bringing my shoulder with me and back. And I wanna do 5 each side. I think I've got 1 more. All right, let's switch sides. So I've got 90 degrees, pulling that arm down. I've got my neck relaxed, and I'm just gonna rotate as far as I can and back. Don't feel like it's necessary to touch the floor. If you get stuck at a certain point, just stop there and bring it back to center. I've done a lot of these, so the more you do this, the more you kind of get comfortable and your body can loosen up a little bit more. All right, last thing we're gonna do in our warm up is a couple single leg glute bridges. If you haven't done single leg glute bridges before, you can just do double leg as well. It's no big deal. So I'm driving through my heels to get my hips up. And now If you're doing double, you can just repeat these. If you want to go single leg, as long as you can get your hips up off the ground without arching your back a lot, that's good. We're gonna go 5 each side, driving through the heels to get my hips up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, last one, 5. Switching sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice job. And that's the end of our work.